Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world and whenever you are tuning into this video. My name is James Porcelli.
And I'm Brian Thomas.
And welcome to another very special edition of the Ruthless Talk podcast.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Have a seat. There's a lots to talk about. Once again, I want to give a quick shout out to the Holy Shh podcast as our collaboration is coming out or airs tonight. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As if you guys want to check that out, that'll be on the Holy Shh podcast and their platform on YouTube and all other platforms that you can listen to podcasts on, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of their platforms. So make sure you guys check it out. I will be posting links on our social medias if you guys are interested to check out the collab, and make sure you guys check out the Holy Shit podcast as well. They're really good individuals, really great content creators, and it was a pleasure to be on their platform. So make sure you guys check them out and make sure you check out the collaboration. You don't want to miss it. We talk WWE. We talk about this weird triple threats that's happening at WrestleMania, a bunch of other stuff, as well as AEW,
Toni Storm,
a bunch of stuff, man. So if you guys are interested, check that collaboration out. Make sure you guys check out the Holy Shit podcast and their YouTube channel. So yes, there's a lots to get into today. We got some AEW to talk about. Brian, I know you talked a little bit about AEW from the last episode, but I will give my takeaways as finally I was able to catch Dynamite from this past Wednesday. And of course, we got SmackDown. Ladies and gentlemen, there is less than a month away from WrestleMania.
22 days?
Again, 22 days, pretty much in change to be exact, as we are nearing closer and closer to WrestleMania. And speaking of WrestleMania, we got the WrestleMania Roundtable coming up legit in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, a week before WrestleMania itself. So make sure you guys also stay notified and stay tuned for that Roundtable episode. But yes, there is 20 some odd days left from WrestleMania, and there hasn't been a whole lot of matches really been made official, especially for a certain amount of titles like the US title, the IC title. There's really no path at all or any direction heading into WrestleMania now with 20 some odd days and change.
Tornado tags,
freaking multi-person matches, freaking gauntlet matches, your sister's ass, everything, man. And we'll get into that mess of a situation later on. But first things first, man, let us talk about AEW as AEW Dynasty is legit a week from today. As there's a big match card. And of course, we will talk about AEW Dynamite sometime next week. We will get a chance to talk about that said event. So here are my takeaways from Dynamite overall. And I guess it's only fitting or only right that I start off with Toni Storm. Toni Storm continues to be legit the top star, not just in AEW, but in all in professional wrestling, right? You take something that's just a simplistic tag match, right? Just a simplistic tag match, nothing memorable, nothing really that special. But she takes something as far as Thunder Tits and makes it such comedy gold, such good shit.
Man.
She's killing it right now, man. She is gelling into this character. She is doing a tremendous job. However, this feud with Megan Bayne, take it or leave it. I'll be honest with you. And maybe it's because I just don't know that much about Megan Bayne or much about this character or much about her at all to begin with. And now here she is being thrown into this title match, which she is going to lose, as she should be. But here you are. Your goal is to what? To put Megan Bayne on the map, to give her the spotlight. But here you are already putting her in this world title match. Now she's going to lose. And then where does she go from here? Like it's just a kind of a weird timing of a situation in regards to this feud. But as far as Toni Storm is concerned, you know, we talked about it too. Like we knew Toni Storm was going to crush it no matter what she's a part of. But the question is the story that she's involved in with these ladies, right? A women's division that is very lacking right now in storytelling. But the fact that Toni Storm is so freaking good at doing the little things in her character it adds a much needed spark. And because of her, it's the only thing that has any legs to stand on, not just, again, in AEW women's division, but this entire company as a whole. But still, man, it's like, it's such a breath of fresh air with Toni Storm and what she's doing. And yeah, I can't speak any highly about this woman. She is just doing a phenomenal job, and she's adding a much needed spark, again, not just in the women's division, but in this company as a whole. So again, Thunder Tits. I never thought I would be freaking glamoring over freaking Thunder Tits. That freaking phrase, man.
And I'll just add to that too. Like, while we don't know much about Megan Bayne, but we see kind of where this is going. I hear what you're saying, and I feel the same way. But at this point, I'm giving Toni Storm the benefit of the doubt, because I mean, it was kind of the same thing with Mariah May. Like, who's Mariah May, and look at Mariah May now. So, that we'll see where this goes, but yeah, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt in this storyline working with Toni Storm, that they're, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
So my next takeaway, man, and I have to mention this, is Kenny Omega. Is his situation right now with this speedball Michael Bailey guy, who, again, I still don't know really much of, I'll be honest. And now you have Ricochet. You have this triple threat that is going to take place at AEW Dynasty, man. And I get it. It's AEW Dynasty. You can argue that if we're talking, WWE and like, oh, it's like a B-level pay-per-view. It's no harm, no foul. It could be a one-off. And that's true. But, man, is this the best we have for Kenny Omega, for speedball Michael Bailey, for him to just be thrusted into a title match already? He cut a promo, which again was not that.
Even Ricochet. Ricochet. I mean, he lost the feud with Swerve.
Swerve,
yeah. Okay.
It's just weird. I don't like. I'll be honest, man. It's weird that Ricochet, at least storytelling wise, I would have Ricochet off of TV right now, because let's face it. I mean, if Speedball Michael Bailey is going to be your new up and coming star, he's probably not going to take the pinfall. Ricochet is most likely going to take the pinfall because freaking Kenny Omega just won this championship. So.
Right.
But, man, it's just like you got AEW All In coming up in a couple of months, man. Like, you could be starting up a badass feud with Kenny Omega in this championship or whatever the case may be. And we're doing this shtick with this tournament. And now here we are with Bailey and now with Ricochet and this weird triple threat to where not a lot of people, or let's face it, are not that excited about. It's a weird situation for Kenny Omega. Like, did Kenny Omega truly come back with all of this stuff that he was going through over the past year with his health and everything? It's like, all right, now Kenny Omega's back. He's back, at least maybe not wrestling the same type of schedule that he used to, but he's back on a somewhat full-time basis. And this is what he's doing. It's just like he's legit.
Right.
I'm not going to say, should I say he's an afterthought? No, shoot, I'm going to say it. It's a freaking afterthought on this show. And I never thought I'd say that because it's Kenny freaking Omega, to where I just don't care about this situation with Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
I really don't. I just, again, man, if you guys like it, much love to you. That's fine. I just think that, again, with this close to AEW All In, one of your now biggest shows of your calendar year, we could be doing so much better for Kenny Omega that has a story attached that is so much more interesting, that has much more amplification than this situation that he's got going
tournament.
on right now. Yeah, it's exactly. Right. It's fucking weird, man. It really is weird. So who knows of what this leads to. My next takeaway is the Hurt Syndicate. As they were in a segment with MJF, MJF made his decision. He's looking to hurt people along with the Hurt Syndicate. As you had Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin come out, you had Bobby Lashley tear up the business card that MVP gave MJF or whatever. Is for some odd reason, I guess MVP did not let Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin know that, hey, we're going to recruit one of probably the most polarizing stars in pro wrestling to our group, and they just are oblivious to all of it. Is kind of weird. And you're creating this disconnect between MVP and Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley. It's just very, I don't know, man. It's just a very weird concept of how we're getting here. Now, granted, I love the presentation of the Hurt Syndicate. I really do like it. And I mean, they look badass. They feel badass in a way. They have these championships. You know, you're putting the rocket on on both of these individuals. So I love that. Every other aspect of the booking outside of the storytelling, I really like a lot. But now it's just like with Hurt Syndicate, right? Because all of this now with MJF, and then all of a sudden now Brian Keith and Big Bill come out, and now they want a shot at the tag titles. It's weird because Brian Keith and Big Bill are heels with Chris Jericho in the Learning Tree, and now the Hurt Syndicate's supposed to be heels. I just don't understand booking wise how this makes any sense. It's just unless you're trying to turn Hurt Syndicate face, I don't know why you would do that, because they just got here, they just formed, and you haven't even scratched the surface of this faction as a bona fide heel faction, or giving us a reason for us to be behind them as a babyface faction to begin with. So this is very odd. Again, the timing of it is odd. Everything about this is really odd. And the whole situation that MVP is recruiting MJF and the rest of Hurt Syndicate is just oblivious to all of it. Like, why didn't you tell us about this? Like, you would think that MVP would send an email, a text, a FaceTime, something that, hey, I'm about to recruit MJF to my faction. And we're just oblivious. I don't know. It's
and
what
remember, it's again in the details. Remember, also he had specifically given them the week off the week prior, right? Yeah. Again, it's in the details of the storytelling, man. So, like, I'm 50-50 here, because I like that they're following up on that, the storytelling part, like, you know, them going backstage and like, what the fuck, guess, man? You gave us the week off and now you're doing this. But if this is, and I'm hoping it's not, like, I understand the little friction and tension. This can't lead to some like big tension where there's already a split in the Hurt Syndicate. Like, for fuck's sake, man.
Yeah, like, that's my problem. Like, you're already teasing this disconnect with the Hurt Syndicate. This is why I'm just confused and just baffled about this entire situation. Like, yes, I get it. Like, you know, you put them off television, obviously, for storytelling wise. Like, hey, you gave us the week off. But still, even though, like, they're your two biggest associates and you're about to recruit another member, you think you would still be like, hey, enjoy your week off, but hey, I got some business to take care of with MJF, and this is what I'm going to plan on doing. They're your two biggest associates of your clique, and they're just not oblivious to all of it. Like, why wouldn't you let us know? Well, you would think, because again, they're your two biggest assets of why you've walked into the door that is AEW. It's just very weird. So my next takeaway from this show, you have Swerve and Hangman backstage. And now, Brian, this is where I really start to get confused, because, like, look, I get it. This was a really good rivalry, and there was a lot more positives than there were negatives, but, like, you just got done with this feud not too long ago. They just fought in a cage. They fought in Texas death matches. This has been all in the span within a year. And now already, it's like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. It's just like, you do all of this shit.
They're just going to be tied together forever.
Yeah, forever. Yeah. And I get it. Like, they work well together. I understand that, guys. But, like, you got to learn how to space things out to where it still feels somewhat fresh and still somewhat organic in a way. For you to already put Hangman and Swerve in a segment together when they've just concluded a rivalry like a couple months back, it's just so odd, man. It really is fucking weird.
Everything with Hangman is just fucking odd. Like, seriously, everything with Hangman and that company is just odd.
It really is. Yeah. So that's one thing, right? And then you have Swerve and Jon Moxley. I thought this face-to-face was decent. Again, was it one of the best? No, but was it pretty decent? Was it more bad or was it more good than bad? Yeah, sure. Jon Moxley did repeat himself a lot in this promo, talking about, like, how far are you willing to go? Like, talking about how he's very dangerous and vindictive. Like, come April 6th, like, talking about to Swerve, like, who are you? You say you're the most dangerous man, but like, how far are you willing to go? Swerve is questioning Jon Moxley, like, what happened to you? Now you hide behind people like Claudio and Pac, even Marina Shafir. And then what was it? The Death Riders, one by one, started to come out. Claudio was behind Prince Nana, and then Mox said his words, and then Willow Nightingale came out. Swerve said some more words, said like, hey, come AEW Dynasty, I'm going to take that championship away from you. And you, Jon Moxley, you can just keep playing Jon Moxley on TV, I guess, or something along those lines. So again, it was a decent little face-to-face segment. You had the Death Riders walked away, but then Marina Shafir came out to attack Willow Nightingale. As they're starting, I guess, another little side feud with those two ladies, along with the rest of this situation with the Death Riders. You have FTR and Cope, which we'll get to also in just a second. I mean, look, man, listen, I watched this segment, Brian, and I'm thinking, like, this is supposedly the detriment of this company is Jon Moxley and this feud. Like, I don't understand. Again, is it great?
No, I don't get it either.
Is it great? No. But like, for us to point the finger at Jon Moxley and the Death Riders and this whole situation now with Swerve Strickland, I just don't understand how, out of everything I've mentioned with people like Kenny Omega, Swerve and Hangman once again freaking in the same fucking segment, right? You have a TNT championship with Daniel Garcia. People forget that he's even holding on to a freaking championship. You have a main event or a show overall with a main event that has no cliffhanger, nothing to get us excited about the following week at all. But outside of all of that, it's Jon Moxley and the Death Riders. That's a fucking problem. Stop, man. Enough. Is it possible that Swerve Strickland can win this championship? Sure. Should he win this championship at AEW Dynasty with this close to AEW All In? That's where I'm kind of 50 with, man. And I know you mentioned it to where, like, Jon Moxley can maybe still retain this title, and then you got AEW All In, which is where he'll drop the championship. But I don't know, man. I just have this weird feeling that it's that Swerve, because he did win that championship when, of course, he won it the first time, was at AEW Dynasty, and now he'll, full circle, I guess, in a way, to where now 1 year later he wins back the championship in this same pay-per-view. And because of some odd weird backlash that Jon Moxley and the Death Riders are getting, Tony Khan might listen to that and go, you know what? I might have to pull the trigger here. That's what also could possibly happen.
I know.
Too.
Yeah.
So who knows? But I mean, obviously this will be the main event of the show, obviously. So I don't know, Brian, what are your takes more about this situation with Swerve, Moxley, the Death Riders, as we'll get to FTR and Cope later on, but what are your takes in regards to all that?
So again, I'm always going to choose the story over, because it's this date or that date or this event or whatever. And so, I can fully see them, because yes, there is a story there with Swerve, and a year later he wins it again, and there's things you can do with that. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But for this, when he's trying to, and you know what, I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but we talk about, or there hasn't been a lot of talk lately, but you remember the 4 pillars of AEW?
Yes.
Who's standing? Swerve Strickland, and he wasn't even one of them. You know what I'm saying? MJF, of course, but
MJF.
Anyway,
right.
Yeah. So I say all that to say, like, if Swerve wins here at April 6th, in a week from here, I mean, what do we expect? Moxley is just going to be like, oh, okay, well, he beat me, and then no, he's then going to come back after the title.
Right.
And that storyline just doesn't make sense. It would make more sense to, Swerve has this match, can he get there, and it's going to be close, and the cliffhangers, and interference, but no, Moxley retains here, and you build that feud and that story until All In. in which Swerve is chasing it. If you have Mox lose right now and then chase Swerve, yeah, you're blowing the fucking story, man.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of my take, how I see that whole scenario. Like, Swerve is the guy. Swerve is the guy to be the champion, and I think for a pretty long run, I really do. But not April 6th, man. It just, I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows, man? Who freaking knows? But no, I completely agree. I mean, again, with Jon Moxley and how you're so far have built up this title reign with him, and him using the briefcase along with the Death Riders and everything, for you to just, again, this is no shade to the Dynasty pay-per-view, but I mean, let's face it, it's a B-level pay-per-view. I mean, let's be honest. When you have a show,
right?
Again,
it's not your top pay-per-views of the year. It's not.
It's not, right. And you're gonna that's like taking one of your top heel champions over in WWE, and you're gonna have him lose at Elimination Chamber rather than at WrestleMania. Like it just sounds weird, man. I'm sorry.
And I'll say this too, and given both individuals, Mox and Swerve, and we've seen where Swerve is willing to go. Like, I just for AEW booking, Swerve and Mox, God damn it, if it fits the story, fine. But God, don't fucking do all this stupid fucking bullshit that is just completely just for, oh shit. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. For the cheap pop and the reaction and absolutely. So again, the face-to-face was fine. Swerve did very well. I thought, again, Jon Moxley was fine, even though I thought he repeated himself a lot in this promo, which he doesn't normally do a lot, but it was kind of very noticeable than many other promos in the past. But again,
and I will say, and I got a question for you too, maybe you know or not. Maria Shafir, I like how she's been presented. She hasn't been, she hasn't had a match, I don't think.
No.
But is there some type of injury that she has because if they're kicking off something with her and Willow, I think it's time for her she needs to start getting in the ring now. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's an injury there or.
I don't think so, really. I think that they're just trying to protect Marina Shafir any way possible to kind of do these segments, to do these brawl beatdown segments or whatever, and then
right
moving into a match with Willow. Hopefully they get some jobber matches in to where it builds up Marina Shafir that much more going into a match with Willow. So hopefully if it is a match with Willow Nightingale, at least leading up to it, at least make it fun to where you can do some jobber matches and Marina Shafir could just beat the living shit out of people. Shoot, put two freaking women in there, make it like a handicap match and have her just beat the shit out of two females.
And it's legit.
And it's legit because of how
the woman would beat your ass in real life.
because of how she's been presented at this point. So, man. And then this final takeaway from Dynamite, and that's FTR, as there's also some massive disconnect between FTR and Cope, mainly Dax and Cope. As Dax was apologetic towards Cope after what transpired during the street fight, or after the street fight when Dax walked away from Cope. As now they are solely focused on the Death Riders and winning the triple, what do you call them? The Trios championships.
Yeah.
The triple A Trios titles, whatever the fuck you want to call those titles. There's so many fucking titles in this damn company, as well as in pro wrestling now. As then I think towards the end of the segment, they were going to do the top guys out. And I think Cope interrupted, said rated FTR out. And Dax was like, yeah, sure. So they clearly there's this disconnect with Dax and Cope. So, what? So it doesn't make sense to break up FTR. That would just be weird when you need when there's a tag division that you need to book and feel. How do I say this, man? FTR. Why would you? It just doesn't make sense for you to break this team up. Now, granted, is this FTR turning on Cope? Because that would maybe, I guess, make more sense if it's both of them turning on Cope rather than it's just a massive split with FTR. Why would you need to do that? You don't need to split up FTR. They're already a really good tag team. They have the pedigree, they have the reputation, they have everything you need in regards to a tag team, right? You can make them as a face, you can make them as a heel tag team. Why do you need to split them up? When there's a tag division that you need to book properly, why are you splitting another tag team? It just doesn't make sense. But again,
arguably, in my opinion, well, I can't say right now on this date, but they're still probably my favorite tag team, and a year ago or 2 years ago at this time, the best tag team on the planet.
Oh yeah, there's an argument there. And even though, and again, they can still feel that way if you were to be booked properly up until this point. Dax is our eyes have been off the ball with the tag championships and everything, and now here they are switching over to the trios championships. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but they have been nowhere near the tag titles over the past several months now?
Since they, I mean, what did they come back? About a year ago? They returned after some time off.
Something like that. Right. And it's just like Brian Keith and Big Bill had to do was just walk out and just go face to face with the Hurt Syndicate. And now here they are. They're going to most likely get a freaking tag title opportunity. So I don't know, man. It's just, it can be really good if you do this properly. But again, the fact that the way you're going about it, plus the idea of splitting up FTR when there's no need to, you just book them properly. Mm-hmm. Plus, they're a part of a tag division that you need to start booking properly as well. That's fluctuating by the day and by the week when you need to build up tag teams in this company. It just doesn't make sense, man. Again, the timing of how you're doing this and how you're doing it, it just doesn't make sense at all. Like, I get what you're trying to do, but splitting up FTR, it's just like, okay, you're going to split up FTR, you're going to do this shtick, and then maybe a couple months down the road, now what? Like, what is Dax doing? What is Cash doing? So these are questions that are asking, or we have to ask ourselves. But
and I got to go back and listen to that promo, but he kind of did allude to it. And so for Cash, I think Cash has known Edge or Copeland longer than Dax, I think, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that's the story right there. I mean, he's going to go with Cope. Yep, FTR is going to break up, and I mentioned it too. And again, this is a lot of long-term storytelling, and a lot of things have to happen, and you got to pray that nobody gets injured and all this shit. But the only way any of this makes sense is, FTR breaks up, Cash goes with Cope, I guess, to some degree. A few months down the road, Cash leaves Cope, goes back to Dax. Somehow Edge and Christian get back together, and boom, there you go. Yeah. But again, a lot of fucking things have to happen between now and then. And it would almost make more sense right now to, like you said, just keep, have them beat down Cope, right? FTR remains the tag team. And at some point, you just bring Christian back in with Edge. But right now, you can't do that with Copeland and Christian. So, I don't know how that turns out. But
because the story is also like, they've taken off the ball, or they've taken themselves off the ball in regards to the tag titles. Like, isn't this the same team that was also like going up against people like Undisputed Kingdom when frickin' Cope was just feuding with Moxley and the Death Riders through this whole entire situation? So you say that your eyes have been off the ball with the tag titles because of Cope in this situation, when you were just taking on Undisputed Kingdom and all these other people, like on Collision and all these other shows. Like, it just doesn't add up of all these other segments and matches that you've been involving FTR. It's just like, we want us to connect and believe this type of stuff, but it's just like, okay, you haven't been involved with Cope and their business since you were taken out, several weeks ago, and then now you were involved with, again, Undisputed Kingdom with other people, and now you reposition yourself in this situation, and then now you're upset with Cope because he's the reason that you're not a part of the tag title situation or the tag title picture. I don't know, man. It's just kind of weird. You guys could say that's nitpicking, but it's the same type of critique that I would give to WWE, and I have to do this for AEW as well. So, and then those are just my takeaways, man, overall. Again, the show, it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. It continues to be a mixed bag. However, for their ratings, man, not much, but they gained several more thousand viewers from last week, as they are now at 663,000. NXT, man, freaking Stephanie Vacuor was the glue to crank them up another 100 some odd thousand viewers, as they went up 741,000. So still NXT is the juggernaut, at least for those two head to head, but AEW, at least for them, they go up a couple more hundred or a couple more thousands of viewership from last week. So at least you're able to maintain it. So I can't say that because of the ratings that this show was just horribly bad. And I can't really say that because I've seen worse shows, but I can't really say though, Brian, that this show was good as well. Again, this overall was just a very mixed bag of a show. There's still a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of things that can work. But man, if you're trying to, with AEW all in this close or not too far away for this summer, man, once AEW Dynasty is over, man, things are going to really have to start to pick up, and if that makes sense. So who knows? We shall see. I mean, things are going to need to start to pick up with Kenny Omega. Things are going to need to start to pick up. Toni Storm can't just be carrying the fucking load in this women's division, guys. I'm sorry. Like, she can't do all the fucking work.
Somebody needs to come alongside her help. She's been doing it for a long time. Even the best, their shoulders get tired, man.
Seriously. We can't just rely on Toni Storm in this shtick to just carry the women's division, right? We can't just freaking, have all these other inconsistencies in this company, man. It's just, and then the rest of the show was just, okay, Will Hobbs and Mark Davis, right? You had Brody King and Kyle Fletcher.
From what they're doing with Mark Davis, bro,
I don't understand.
I'm not even going to comment.
Will Hobbs too. I don't understand.
Yes, but I feel like they've been doing that with Hobbs since he's been there. So
yeah, it's just very interesting. I don't understand these types of matches, right? And then you had Takeshita in a match in the main event. I just don't understand what this is doing for Dynasty, if that makes sense, or how it's getting us at least that much more excited about AEW Dynasty as a whole. But so I don't know. He was in a match with Mark Briscoe. What does Mark Briscoe and Takeshita have anything to do with AEW Dynasty? That's this close away from the show. I don't know, man. It's just make it make sense.
It was a good, entertaining match.
Yeah, no, the match was fine, but
I still love, the Briscoes got a special place in my heart. But you're right. It's what is this? Yeah,
right. Top Flight against Alex Finley and Divino Knight. What does this have to do with AEW Dynasty? Right. It's just there's some parts of the show that have nothing to do with the pay-per-view, or has nothing to do with this upcoming show. So it's just very odd. So those are my takeaways, man. Again, some good, some bad, some ugly, as it usually is when it comes to AEW. Overall, a mixed bag. But we will talk about AEW Dynasty next week, and we will talk about that show as a whole. Some takeaways from the show, but we'll talk about that next week and future episodes to come. All right, man, let's get into SmackDown as we got some takeaways from SmackDown, man. I guess we'll start from the top. Why not just start right from the top of the show? So we got a bunch of takeaways from this show. Again, this won't be a full review, but just a short takeaways of the show. We'll get into the main event segments of where a main event for WrestleMania has been official, but we'll talk about that later on. Let's talk about the start of the show, man. This was Randy Orton cutting a promo with Cody Rhodes. Freaking Orton's talking about, or he's very proud of Cody Rhodes and what he's doing and how he's gotten to this point, and pretty much glazing up Cody Rhodes while the crowd continues to just chant every single chant that really has nothing to do with the segment going on in the ring. Again, I love the energy. I love the noise, man. I love it to a degree.
Last night was much, man.
Seriously,
I really do think it might have affected the end of the show, man. I really do.
I do too, man. It's again, man, I love these international crowds. And again, like, they make noise because yes, they don't get to experience a whole lot of WWE television that comes to their neck of the woods, right? So yes, they're going to make noise. They're going to have fun. They got a few freaking pints and drinks in them after like an hour of the show. But like, man, like, are you there to just chant and sing along? And like, and for us fans that are watching this on TV, like we want to listen and we want to dissect of the story.
Right. Are you there to watch the show?
And it's just like all we hear is you fucking chanting. It's like, shut the fuck up.
And it's even it got to the point where I get it. I really, really do. Like we talk about the Cody Rhodes and the Seth Rollins and even Randy Orton's song, but now you're going on for minutes just chanting Cody Rhodes. Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes. Well, bro.
It's like enough, man. Oh my God. Right, yeah, the Cody Rhodes chant. They did the same thing for Roman Reigns at the end of the show.
That's who about Roman Reigns. Yeah.
Roman Reigns. It's like, oh my fucking God, shut up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man, please. Anyway.
That was a bit much, and I think it affected the show, man.
Yeah, and I say this all the time about a lot of these other countries, these other international crowds that we go to, man. It's just like, are you there to just sing and chant along and do all these sing-alongs, or are you there because the show itself that's being presented to you, is it really that good, or are you just bored out of tears to where let's just start a chant and a sing-along? Because that's
you get a group of any drunk people in any situation, 10 or more, we just going to start singing and chanting shit. Like you put music to it. That's what we're going to do.
Where were they at? They were in London, England.
London,
England freaking London. So, but anyway, this segment itself, Drew. So Cody and Orton start off the segment again. Orton is talking about how proud he is of Cody and him winning the championship. Listen, even though with John Cena's going after his 17th world championship, there comes a time where I'm going to go after number 15 in the near future. So he's proud of Cody, right? He's like the proud father of Cody Rhodes. Like, I'm so proud of you, but guess what? I'm going to come after that championship one way or another. And then Drew McIntyre, this is where it gets weird. Drew McIntyre then comes out, cuts a promo, and then Cody sucker punches Drew, and then Orton goes for an RKO, but Drew sidesteps it and leaves the ring. Guys, again, what does this have to do with WrestleMania at all? Like, you have Cody, who's feuding with Cena. You have Orton, who's feuding with Kevin Owens. And you have Drew, who's in this shtick with Priest. And you put them in this segment for the first half an hour of this show. And guys, it accomplished absolutely nothing. If this was building up for Orton and Cody, which honestly, if I had the booking pen, I would have booked this from the jump. You have heel Randy Orton, you have babyface Cody Rhodes for the championship. Because guys, let's not bullshit each other. That is a WrestleMania worthy type of match,
feud.
Of feud. Like, let's not bullshit ourselves here. But
we've been talking about that for what? It feels like 2 years now.
Oh my God, freaking over a year. At least ever since we've had this podcast, we've been talking about it, right? And it's just like, it's fucking there. And you want to overcomplicate the situation. And granted, yes, Cena with the heel turn, it can work out. It's been doing at least more positive has been negative in the situation with Cena. It's been doing really well. But still, you had such a simplistic and yet effective route with Orton and Cody Rhodes in a feud. And you wanted to do all of this other shit and overcomplicate it. And now it's a mess in a way, but at least I guess it's somewhat salvage. And again, you can thank The Rock, Cena, and Gerwitz with this heel turn, because if it was up to Triple H, it would just be face Cena versus face Cody Rhodes, and then you might get some handshakes after the matchup at WrestleMania. But so yeah, I just don't know what this really accomplished when it comes to WrestleMania. When you had all three of these individuals in the ring, it was just a very weird start to the show, guys. This was 20 plus minutes to start the show. And nothing was accomplished at all. Really nothing. I'm sorry. Brian, what are your takeaways, man, from this first start of the show?
I hope this is where it really, you and I have talked about this Orton and Cody Rhodes potential feud, what should be a feud. Possibly, I can see this being next Mania. And if you planted this little seed here, where yes, Randy Orton is, not there yet, but he's telling Cody that he's coming after him sooner or later. Right. Again, it's wishful thinking, and I hope and expect them try to get there, but this is where kind of I see, just spitballing here, how I see like the next year going. Like Cena's gonna beat Cody at Mania. However the title run plays out through the summer or whatever, like I think Cena's gonna hold that title until Survivor Series. And I would assume Cody wins that back, maybe even with the help of Orton. And then what Cena's gone, like that's pretty much Cena's swan song, right? He's at that point after Survivor Series, that's pretty much the end.
Yeah.
And then you kick off this feud with Orton and Cody, because that is the story you can tell, and those two guys telling it. That's fucking main event WrestleMania. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, we've also said this too, like this feud doesn't even need the championship to even be involved. So if that's the route you want to go, to where you want to do it the following WrestleMania, to where, okay, you want to plant this seed to where you can go back to it. Okay, fine. But as far as
for Drew McIntyre coming in, yeah, it didn't, like, what the fuck, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Drew McIntyre came in. That's when it really started to go into a weird direction. Like, okay, like what the fuck are we doing? But yeah, so no, I understand what you're saying when it comes to Cody and Orton, no doubt. But again, the thing is though, now with WrestleMania this year, though, even though right. next year, you still have WrestleMania this year to worry about. So then what you need to worry about now is KO and Orton, as well as Cody and Cena. So, and for that aspect, I don't know what was really accomplished when you have a bunch of these individuals who are all nothing, and because they're all in other separate feuds with other individuals that weren't even a part of the segment. It's just that's what's weird. So yes, you can plant that seed for a future WrestleMania match with Cody and Orton, but as far as for this year's WrestleMania and what you're trying to do for this year's WrestleMania and for this show, I don't know, man. It's just very odd. And like you said with Drew McIntyre, it was the icing on the cake, to where like, all right, what the fuck is going on? Anyway, so that's the start of the show. Just as usual, how Triple H starts it, just a bunch of whole what the fuck. But
hold on, and I got it, because we got to start it here before we get to the end of the show, because that opening segment took probably, I would estimate, close to 20 minutes, probably.
Yeah,
and exactly. A lot of that was because of the constant just chanting of the names and singing the songs repeatedly.
Exactly.
So that'll be a continued theme throughout.
So yeah, we got to fill up the show somehow, Brian. We gotta tell people how much the business is booing, because people are making noise and they're singing along. See how much wrestling is on fire right now, and we're gonna fill up the show with people singing along and just completely just, I don't want to say hijacking the show, but I mean, like it's getting to a point to where it's no longer about the show that's being presented. You're just there chanting along just to chant along. And again, we're not telling guys that people can't show up to a wrestling show to have a good time. But again, it comes across that they're just trying to chant along and sing rather than being invested of what the show is being presented to them. That's all we're saying. So, but anyway, moving on. Listen, I know this was a very brief part of the show, but this women's tag match you had, what are they called, Brian? Piper Niven and Alba Fire. They're like the Secret Harvest.
The Purvis. No, the Secret Purvis.
The Secret Purvis.
So I got to go. I was like, okay, where did that name come from? I gotta research that out because I don't get it. But the Secret Purvis.
The Secret Purvis, as they took on Katana Chance and Kaden Carter in a matchup. I'm just going to be straight up honest. So I watched this match. I went back and watched this match twice. This was a very clunky match. This was not good at all. Piper Niven, again, I don't know. I've seen Piper Niven like perform way better, because in this matchup she just looked very slow, and I get it. She's out there wrestling in a suit or whatever. I get it. It's not easy.
I thought
to do.
I'll comment on that, but yeah.
So but either way, but outside of just that, though, there was a lot of miscommunication. There was a lot of botching. It was just very, very clunky of a match. And again, I love this shtick with Chelsea and with Alba Fire and with Piper Niven. I really do like it a lot. But for this to how it kind of cultivated within this matchup, and how really nothing out because of that, and nothing kind of came out of it, because again, we have nothing for Chelsea in this Women's United States Championship. We still really have nothing. And is WWE even going to place anything with this championship on the WrestleMania card because of how lackluster it is? You had Selena Vega out there. It looks like she's the next person in line to face Chelsea Green, which can be really good. I mean, I love Selena Vega. You guys know how much I praise Selena Vega for how good she is, but man, what are you doing to put Selena Vega in the best position possible for her to thrive and to make this feud a captivating, interesting feud, to where you haven't done much with Selena Vega for God knows freaking how long, and now here you are, you're going to mesh her in a title match and expect everybody to just give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, what are your takeaways, Brian, in regards to this tag match with the ladies?
A few things, actually. I mean, the match itself, yes, it wasn't very good, but like you said, I love the gimmick with Chelsea and Piper and now Alba Fire. I was a little shocked, and I do have to believe at some way, like, not that they shouldn't be able to overcome it or whatever, but I fully expected them to. I was kind of shocked that they were wrestling in their Secret Service, suit gimmick,
attire. Yeah.
Right. So at first I was like, okay, this is what they're doing. Okay. But then, and I don't know. I'm just saying, like, maybe when you're having the match, get some different ring gear that is more conducive to wrestling. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know how much it affected, or maybe it didn't. I don't know. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. Where are you ladies been?
Right. Yeah.
So welcome back, I guess. And again, while this match wasn't great, and we talk about tag teams in the men's and the women's, like definitely in the women's, and even I'd put them up with the men's. There's very few tag teams that actually work as a tag team and have tag team movesets.
Right.
These ladies have it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know if one or the other was injured, maybe both, or maybe there just wasn't anything for them. But I'd love to see more of these ladies again in the tag division and whatever, because they are a legit good tag team.
Sure.
They still need more experience. They're young. They don't, I'm not saying they're putting on 5-star matches or whatever, but fuck that whole scale anyway. So yeah, happy to see them back. Zelina Vega, I guess, are they kind of now going to mesh her with B-Fab and Michin? I guess is kind of, as her backup, and Michin's already had her history. So I mean, it could work. It could be good. And yeah, Zelina Vega, I have no issue with her if she would be the one. Actually, you know what? I'd fucking love it. I'd fucking love it for this specific reason alone, because a lot of the fucking neckbeards won't realize that Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory and she's winning the U.S. title. And half of them are going to be like, what the fuck? She's not even from the U.S. So for that reason alone, fucking give that shit to her, man. And fuck y'all.
But
no,
yeah,
really, I mean, I guess they're putting her with Michin and B-Fab, and that'll kind of go back and forth a little bit. But
I guess
if Zelina Vega is the person to take that from Chelsea. I got no problem with that.
No, trust me, I don't either. By the way, Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, they're actually not as young as you think.
Really?
Kaden Carter is 36 years old. Katana Chance is 35. Yeah. they've been in the wrestling world or have been in the wrestling industry for quite some time now. And that's
fuck me. I apologize to you ladies because that is my bad.
Yeah, no, they've
sorry.
Been around.
I am sorry. I am sorry. I did not know you ladies until you came to WWE. But y'all look fantastic in tag team matches, man. You really, really do.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, they don't look 35 or 36. I mean, shoot.
No, I really thought they were fucking mid-20s, man.
Yeah. I know. Shout out to those. And you're 100% right about them as a tag team, right? It's just that. And you listen to that crowd, but for a crowd that loves to chant and sing along, if you go back to this matchup, the majority of this matchup, like they had to sing along and chant because they were probably bored to death with this freaking matchup. And that's what I mean, man. You have so many good assets with Katana Chance and Kaden Carter as a tag team. You have this secret Hervis shtick with Chelsea Green and with this United States chant. All of it could be really good.
Yeah,
but yet you're still doing really nothing with it. And because of the fact you have Selena Vega involved and you haven't done much with her, now you're just going to pluck her from irrelevancy and put her in this match. And now you expect everybody to care about Selena Vega again. Stop, man. And I love Selena Vega. You guys know that. And there is no doubt I'm with you, Brian, that I would love for her to potentially hold on to this championship. I don't know how the booking is going to be any different with or without the championship, either or, because again, this is what I mean, man, about the mid-card championship in the women's division. It's just like, what are you doing about the booking that's anything different before these titles were even a fucking thing? It's the same thing on Monday Night Raw with the IC Women's Championship. It's the same fucking thing. To where you listen even to an international crowd to where all they do is sing along and do a bunch of crazy shit. Guys, even they were like sitting and just twiddling their thumbs throughout the majority of this matchup. Go back and watch it. And that's it, man. That's really all I can say. And again, the match, unfortunately, was just really clunky. And it was just not good at all. These four ladies just could not gel with one another. And again, like you said, Brian, I don't know if it has anything to do with part of it with Piper Niven, because she looked very slow in the ring. Like, I get it, she's a bigger woman, but still, like, she works a lot faster and she works more on her feet than what she did in this matchup. It was just not Piper Niven at all. But either way, it was we hold out hope, Brian, like, oh, this could be good, and it all comes back full circle. It never works out the way
I know, man.
Have hope that it's going to, unfortunately. But
like, even and like, seriously, like, what you could do with Chelsea Green, the way her gimmick and who she already is, even before she got the title, just the kind of like ignorant smartass, right? Like, there is so much you could do subliminally and messaging wise between Chelsea Green and Zelina Vega, just because she's from Puerto Rico and it's the U.S. title. It's that fucking simple. And Chelsea Green would fucking nail it. Absolutely. She would nail it, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Let's move on, man. You got Los Angeles Knight versus Braun Strowman. This was a title matchup. It was, guys. This is a title match like 20 some odd days before a pay-per-view. This is the creativity for LA Knight, Los Angeles Knight, and the United States Championship. And this is also face versus face. But who the fuck is counting, right?
And we knew what was going to happen. We knew what was coming.
So we knew it was coming, right? To where Jacob Fatu, he's had this beef with Braun Strowman lately, and he comes out and he causes a disqualification. And I believe Braun Strowman wins this match via DQ. So LA Knight remains your champion. And now the focus is back on Strowman and Fatu. And then you're also teasing Solo and Fatu. Fatu is now being portrayed more as, I don't even know, man, supposedly a face, but he's out there costing another face and Braun Strowman a championship matchup. Guys, none of this fucking make sense. And what is this doing for LA Knight? LA Knight, guys, every single week, this is a 3-hour show, and your United States champion is one of the most biggest afterthoughts on this show. Nobody gives a fuck about what LA Knight is doing or what he's involved in, man. And this is your United States freaking champion. If you were going to do like a shocking Royal Rumble winner, right? We talked about Jey Uso and creating a shock factor. How about LA Knight, dude? Because he's deserving of it. He's been in this industry for freaking 20, however freaking long, so many freaking years. If we're basing it off of deserving, how about LA Knight? He's got a cool, catchy freaking catchphrase, right? That people love to say, yeah, over, right? He's also checks off more boxes as a singles competitor. He just freaking does. So if you were going to ever do a shock factor to win a Royal Rumble, it should have been LA Knight. But because, that's not Triple H's MO. That's not one of his golden, I guess, I don't want to say golden boys. That's kind of too far, but that's not one of Triple H's handpicked people. We're just going to, LA Knight's just going to be treading above water. And that's what LA Knight is doing right now with this title and putting him in irrelevant, weird situations, weird matchups with Braun Strowman. That's this close from WrestleMania. Guys, there is no plan. There is no care. There is no fucking effort with LA Knight in this title. And it continues to be evident as the days and the weeks go on, getting closer to Mania. But Brian, any quick takeaways on LA Knight, Braun, Jacob Fatu, anything, man? What are your thoughts?
This whole thing, like I said, so triple threat at Mania. Triple threat, even it might even be a fatal four-way if Solo decides to insert himself.
Strowman, right, and LA. Oh my!
Yeah, so it's at least a triple threat, maybe even four-way.
Yep. Yep.
And I said this, I don't know, last podcast or whatever, but seriously, in the past, I don't know, 5-6 months, how many times have we seen Braun Strowman get just fucking destroyed by Fatu with it ends in 5 ass attacks, over and over and over again. And it's what the fuck, man?
I don't know, man.
And to the point where you're getting a triple threat at Mania, in which I'm sure he's going to do the same thing again to Braun. A triple Fatu wins that. It's going to be a triple threat. Fatu wins the U.S. title at Mania. Yep. But how we're the LA Knight and the Braun Strowman, and again, it's the storyline and whatever. It just a fucking another triple threat at Mania. Okay.
Yeah, man. Exactly. Yeah. And again, we're also gonna, and it wouldn't shock me that the decision to flip-flop championships when LA Knight just won back the title, and then in a couple some odd days he's just gonna lose the fucking championship. Yeah, because it's just, and you take Jacob Fatu, and again, I really like Jacob Fatu, as I'm sure a lot of people freaking do. But my God, man, you're taking something and you're just convoluting it to where you need heels in this company, and now you're portraying him as this weird tweener to where he's taking out faces. He's still being portrayed somewhat as a heel, but he's going up against Solo like he's a face. Or he's confronting Solo as a face. Guys, nothing makes sense at all. And you're gonna mesh everybody in a multi-person matchup at the very last minute when, there's not even, you have barely even one night of WrestleMania even filled. Hardly even one night. And you still need to fill up another night of WrestleMania. And you're 20 some odd days away and you still hardly have anything. You're going to throw this last minute on the WrestleMania card, if they even give that the limelight and the opportunity to even put this on the card, because we know when it comes
they will. Yeah.
And maybe they will.
Yeah.
Maybe they will, because it is 2 nights, but still, the fact that you're going to do this last minute.
And Jacob Fatu, just for the simple fact, where else is Fatu going to?
It's Fatu. Yeah, for sure.
It'll be on the card for sure.
For sure. But still, the fact that it's still last minute and you're putting this amount of care and effort into it, it speaks volumes, man, that you don't either have a plan or you just don't give a fuck. It's one of the two, man. And the fact that you're taking somebody like Jacob Fatu, who should be a dastardly bona fide heel, when you need heels in this company, And because, he's got a little bit of support behind him, people dig Jacob Fatu. Oh, let's just turn him face.
I do too. But he needs to be a heel, man.
I don't understand. He needs to be a fucking heel, dog. He hasn't even done hardly anything to switch him over to a face this soon. It doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense at all. Moving on. Let's get into some really good shit, actually. This was probably the best part of this entire show, and it involves Naomi. She cut a tremendous vignette segment, man. She's wearing her caution attire, and she's talking about Bianca and Jade. She's talking about how she's sick and tired of being underappreciated, underutilized, and being the third wheel. And she sends a message to Jade like, hey, you need to proceed with caution. This was so fucking good, man, right? So fucking good. And to all the people that say like, oh, Naomi, she's mid, she's not that good, she can't talk well on the microphone. Bro, what I just heard was probably one of the best women's vignette segments that I've seen in a very long time. Like, it was good, man. Nailed this shit, man. This was really,
even with
really
the tears, man. Good. Even with the tears, like,
guys, this is all I fucking asked for. This is, Brian, me and you have asked for Naomi. It doesn't have to involve a championship. It doesn't have to involve like the main event title scene. Just give her something. Just give her something, and you see what you can do with just an ounce, like an inch of creativity of what you can do with
Naomi. Can we get a slow clap for Naomi?
Seriously. Awesome. Absolutely, man. Shout out to Naomi, man. I mean, finally now people are starting to, at least for the people that aren't so high on Naomi, everybody I'm sure likes Naomi, but in regards to the talent and what she brings to the table, some people are like, how is she much more different than this and that person? But you listen to this vignette, you listen to this segment, man, and you see the potential that she's always had. She's been in this business, guys, for 15 plus years, and now you're finally starting to see what this woman is capable of doing. This was so fucking damn good, man. Really damn good. And then this was before a match with Michin and Charlotte Flair. Naomi comes out, attacks both B-Fab and Michin. Both of them, takes out both of them, and then Jade Cargill tries to come out for the save. This is what should have happened during the last attack that Jade did to Naomi, which was having Naomi retreat up through the crowd. But instead, you did the payoff a couple weeks ago. But at least this week, you tried to rectify it by having Naomi retreat up the rampway. And then Jade Cargill, she's checking up on Michin and B-Fab after the attack or whatever. And that was pretty much the segment. But listen, Naomi, man, listen, I'm going to give another clap, man. For Naomi, man, she did a tremendous job. She is the positive light out of this, probably the only positive light throughout this entire show this week, man. I mean, she absolutely crushed this vignette segment. She's really starting to gel into this heel persona, or more of this darker side of her. And all I ask for, man, is that just do. There's no way you can fuck this up. For how good Naomi is, man, just continue.
Pump the brakes. This is WWE. This is pro wrestling we're talking about.
Trust me. Like, I'm telling you, I know. It's 2025 and it's WWE. Trust me. I'm not giving anybody the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
But yeah, and listen, they've already messed this up in a way. I mentioned the payoff from the attack not too long ago on SmackDown after that Bianca and Naomi confrontation, which was also so damn good, by the way. Like, you take that, Brian, and this vignette segment, and you see like what this woman is capable of doing. We talk about people again, and I don't want to mention her, but I don't want to like make a comparison, but I feel like I have to. Like Charlotte Flair, right? We continue to put title after title after title after title after title on this woman, and like, how is she that much more better? How much more talented than Naomi has been, who has been here longer, who is just as talented and as athletic than her. And now finally you're starting to see what Naomi can finally do when there's an ounce of creativity behind it, just an ounce. So I can't praise Naomi enough. She did a tremendous job in this vignette segment. And look, as far as this Jay Naomi thing goes, I mean, clearly this is going to be a main event matchup for Mania. Jade will probably be the one to go over. You're not going to have Jade lose this matchup, at least from what WWE is going to try to book her as such. Naomi is most likely going to take the pinfall loss.
Well, are you talking about next Mania? What do you mean?
No, I'm talking about for this Mania.
Oh, you said Jade. You said Jade. Sorry, I thought you said Bianca first. I was like, wait a minute, Bianca's in the. I got you.
Jade and Naomi. Yeah, Jade and Naomi.
Right on.
Yeah, Bianca. Yeah, she's in another fucking mess of a fucking situation
right.
with the women's championship. But so yeah, Jade will most likely go over in this match against Naomi. And again, hopefully, if that's the case, just make Naomi somewhat stay face, that it doesn't rectify how you've portrayed her over the last several weeks in this new heel persona. So again, it still has its inconsistencies. I would not have done the attack after the Bianca Naomi confrontation a couple weeks ago, but they're trying to rectify the wrong. So I guess the ladies are going to have to carry what WWE is giving to them, if that makes sense. But what are your takes, Brian, with Naomi and the rest of these ladies?
As far as Naomi's vignette, man, I mean, it was awesome, man. That was, I mean, all the questions, of to the story and why. I mean, she answered all of them. Now as the fans, we can, I guess, definitively say, Bianca had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
In which case, I'll pose this to you. What do you think? Do you think this stays as just this is Naomi, or do you think Lash Legend and maybe Jakara Jackson are coming alongside of her?
If that's
either way, I'd like to see them come alongside of her. And not to say that she can't do it like on her own or whatever. I'd like this and that vignette and everything she's been doing tells you yes she can, but I still would like to see her have some sort of backup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But how do you? What do you think? Do you think they're just going to go with it as just Naomi?
I think for this attack specifically at this point, I think so. Yes, and maybe you can tell the story to where Naomi's going to need some reinforcements because, she's the dastardly heel now, and you're going up against a juggernaut that's Jade Cargill. So at this point, yes, they're going to most likely just go about it that it is most likely Naomi. So for her to now do all of this now and then a couple months just to say, oh, it was Bianca that was behind it.
It's not. So that's why I say, we can say it's that Bianca's out. Like she had nothing to do with it, but somebody had to help her.
You would think, yeah. So unless now I don't know how long you would want to stretch this situation with Jade and Naomi, but let's say if you were to do this past WrestleMania to where you can still make Jade Cargill stay face and you can have Naomi get a bona fide WrestleMania victory where she defeats Jade Cargill, but it's because of the associates alongside Jakara and Lash Legend. And now you start another chapter within that story now that Jakara and Lash Legend is involved now, to where you can do something like that. But the problem is, though, Brian, is that because of how WWE wants to portray and book Jade Cargill, I highly doubt that they're going to go that route to where they're most likely just going to have her win or have her moment to win her first big WrestleMania. Well, not her first, technically her first singles matchup up against Naomi. And I highly doubt that they're going to portray her in a losing effort. I think that the route that they would go to is to have her on the winning end. But if I'm booking it, if you want to stretch it out and to really make this a bona fide badass feud in a story, to where if you want to carry this after maybe going into Backlash, following WrestleMania, you would have Naomi get the victory, but it's because of Jakara and Lash Legend. Again, I'm not saying that is the first decision that I would go to, or it's how would I put this way? I'm not saying that it doesn't have its flaws, but that's something that I would consider doing because what you're going to have Jade Cargill win this match, and then Naomi does what? You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm scared of. Is that is all this and she's doing great, but then you're going to have her lose to Jade at Mania.
Yeah.
And then she's just
Right, because then like she'll lose this
mid-card
match, and then she's going to be like, oh, now I need some reinforcements, and then maybe you'll do a rematch, but yet I guess then Naomi then wins the payoff of the matchup then.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. But if I were to think about this and how to book this, I mean, if you were to really make a cool little moment to where if you want to reintroduce Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson in more of a like last time, you kind of just introduced them as NXT talents. Now you introduce them in this type of story to where they're inserted with Jade Cargill, and you're creating somewhat of a moment at WrestleMania of all places. And you can continue the story, and then Jade Cargill gets her payoff, and then she can move on, and then you can do whatever you want to do. If you book Naomi properly, if there's a direction for Naomi as a heel, then you can kind of go into different directions when this feud is all said and done.
I mean, could you think of the WrestleMania moment, whether it happens this year, next year, or ever? I mean, just a WrestleMania moment of fucking Lash Legend and Jade Cargill having a stare down in the middle of the ring.
Yeah,
fuck, dude.
Yeah, man, exactly. So who knows? But either or, regardless of what happens moving forward, at least for this week, man, Naomi absolutely crushed it, man. She is really doing very, very well with this shtick of what's been given to her. Again, I love like the caution attire and everything. I just love it. Her presentation is being done very well. And she's killing, man. And she's finally being inserted into something, or she's been giving at least an ounce of booking that this is all we've asked for, Brian, for Naomi to do. Is just to give her something of importance to do. And finally, it's taken them long enough, but finally they're fucking doing it. So all right, man, let's move on. Rey Fenix, I guess we'll talk about him. He's been announced that he is going to make his WWE debut next week. Not the SmackDown after WrestleMania, to where all the hype is going to be. The SmackDown after Mania or the Raw after WrestleMania. It's going to be next week before WrestleMania. I don't know. The timing just sounds really weird for you to debut Phoenix. That's number one. And number two, and Brian, I say this like a broken record, but like, again, it's just the continuation of adding more and more and more talent. Okay, you're going to add Rey Fenix, and what is he doing? What is he doing that's going to captivate people in a wrestling audience that you haven't been doing with your current WWE roster right now? Like, you have so many other talents that you need to book properly. People like an LA Knight, people like your women's division, like Lyra Valkyria, and all these other people that you need to book properly. What is adding another fucking person going to do to elevate the productivity of this television show or of this company and this business as a whole? I just don't understand. And again, I like Rey Fenix. I love Penta. I love the Lucha Bros. I love Rey Fenix. I hope the best for this dude. And again, the same thing goes for potentially somebody like a Malachi or a Miro that's going to jump onto the scene. What are they doing that's going from the jump and long term that they're going to do that's going to captivate people? And again, is the answer always just adding more and more talent to your roster that already needs good booking right now? That's just it. But Brian, what are your takes, man? Rey Fenix making his debut next week. What are your quick thoughts about that?
Yeah, a little bit of odd timing there, this close to Mania and not just wait until after Mania. And also, like you said, yeah, I mean, he's another guy on the roster. And so at least initially, I mean, Penta's on Raw, so, I mean, obviously the Lucha Brothers, the tag team sitting right there, but they're going to be on different brands. So I guess, yeah, both of them right now are going to be singles competitors in the mid-card division that is sporadically booked. That's the best I can say. I mean, I don't know. So he's debuting on Smack. I'm trying to think of who would he debut and kind of either somebody come out and pick a feud with him or he go after somebody. I can't even think off the top of my head, but unless is he going to join, like, what is LWO? Is that Raw or SmackDown or
LWO is Monday Night Raw.
That's Raw.
Yeah, that's Monday Night Raw. Yeah.
And is
Legado del
Fantasma? Is that SmackDown?
SmackDown. Yeah. So that's probably.
So I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I just don't understand just the constant insertion of talents when there's already a full roster that still needs to be booked properly. It just doesn't make sense at all. Again, we wish nothing but the best for Rey Fenix.
Yeah, again, absolutely. I'm sure it'll be he's going to have a hell of a presentation. I'm sure, it's going to look good,
Sure, absolutely.
But I just don't know where
the end game is. Yeah. And it's just the fact that too, like, that now with Penta and Rey Fenix now both in the WWE circle, that those two are going to cross paths. They're most likely going to reform the Lucha Bros. But also, what is that doing too when you have a tag division that's also not being booked properly right now, guys? Like, you have tag teams, yes, but nobody in that tag division is booked properly. Brian, down the road, like, those two are going to cross paths and they're going to reintroduce the Lucha Bros and they're going to be a part of the tag division moving forward. But again, man, the question is, what are they going to be involved in? Are they just going to be thrown in random multi-person matchups at the next WrestleMania, right? Are they going to be thrown in freaking some other random like circus 8-man tag matches or whatever the fuck, right? Like, this is the question, guys, that needs to be asked, because of previous history has told us that this is most likely going to be the booking for both Penta and Phoenix, and mainly for Rey Fenix now that he's jumping onto the scene. But before we get to the main event, Drew and Priest, they were in a brawl segment, one of their better brawls, I will say. What was it? Priest did a South of Heaven choke slam onto Drew through the windshield of a car. The one little layer I thought was nice was when Punk walked by and he kind of glanced over Drew McIntyre because of their history and beef and banter. I did like that. That at least glimmer of that I liked.
Yeah.
So again, was it one of their better brawls? Yes. If I were to speak about this personally, I would have said, yeah, I actually enjoyed this brawl segment to a certain degree. Wait, James, you enjoying a brawl segment? You can't stand the brawl segments. Yes, I don't. I don't like the brawl segments because we see it every fucking week. But here's what I'll say, right? And this is just being as fair and honest as I can be. Is this one of their maybe better brawl segments? Yes, because of the change of scenery. You add the car involved and backstage. I get it. But you do the car windshield spot. You just did that with Jade Cargill. You're doing that story with Jade Cargill. This is what I mean, Brian. And again, this is not trying to nitpick, but you're taking a spot or the spot of a segment that is already being booked in another storyline in your company to where you're not letting anything stand out, because all you do is brawls, right? Every brawl is the same, guys. That's why nobody gives a fuck about any of these storylines, because they're just brawls. It's all about it being on site, right? There's really no storyline, nothing truly behind why Drew and Priest have this much animosity that they need to be putting each other through the car of a windshield of a fucking car. It's just, I'm sorry, man. Again, if I were to just tell you how I personally felt, yeah, it was cool, it was fun. But if you get to the honesty critique,
still a brawl.
It's still just a regular brawl. And it's the same windshield car spot that you just did with Jade Cargill in this mystery attacker. Like, you know what I'm saying, man? Like, this is what I mean, man, about the creativity and the little details that you are presenting to your audience, to where you're not letting anything stand out. You're doing the same thing over on one storyline and you're doing the same thing with another. It's those little details like that, man. I'm sorry, that just doesn't stick out and you're not making it special enough. So, Brian, what are your takes before we get to the main event segment?
Yeah, I mean, it was okay, take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just thinking because there's been so many of them, but it wasn't, and it's not Jade, and it wasn't this one, but it hasn't in the past 2 weeks or so, and I don't even know if it was on SmackDown or Raw, but somebody else was put through a windshield in a spot like that. Or am I wrong about that? I just feel like there was somebody else.
Braun Breaker sent Ricochet through a windshield of a car when Ricochet was signed off of WWE TV. Bronson Reed and Strowman and their
Reed and
brawls
Strowman
and their feuds. You had Rollins and Bronson Reed in brawls, right?
I felt somebody just did it like a week or two ago, though, where it was just somebody was laid out on the windshield of a car. But again, maybe it's just because it's happened so many times. I'm just getting the
Yeah.
the
And the fact that
timeline
you're
confused,
trying to
but-
remember it also kind of like speaks volumes because everything is the same thing. To wait,
yeah.
who individuals was it? Because this was the same thing as this week in the fall. Yeah, it's a
yeah. But so yeah, I mean, you're right with this feud. I mean, it kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't say came out of nowhere because I mean, I guess you can still always go back to Priest cashed in on him, but yeah, it's, I don't know. It's not really going anywhere, I guess.
It's not.
So
no. It's just on site, Brian. Every
it's just
time
on
they see
site.
each other, it's just fucking on site. It's just fucking
Yeah.
war brawls. All right. Anyway, let's just get to this main event segment, man. There's a lots to go over here. Let's get into it, man. You had a contract signing for a triple threat match between Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. With nothing on the line, no titles on the line, all separate feuds, all baby faces, all the whole entire shtick, guys, that we've been speaking about for the past several weeks now on this very podcast, to where this triple threat match makes no sense. It's just, it's a clunky, weird, random triple threat. And now on top of it, you're now placing it in the main event of, I believe, night one of WrestleMania. And of course, John Cena and Cody Rhodes are most likely going to main event WrestleMania night 2. So you had Roman Reigns come out, you had Seth Rollins come out, you have CM Punk come out, and he's about to sign this contract. Roman Reigns is like coming off more as the heel in this promo, to where like he's laughing, his mannerisms are a heel, like, oh, hey, like he's trying to do Punk a favor. It's like, hey, Paul Heyman, wise man, like give him the details of the contract. Look at this paragraph, look at this and this. And Paul Heyman tells him, like, listen, your dream is going to come true, that you are a WrestleMania main eventer. So that's pretty much the added twist to it, is that this is going to now be the main event. You have this triple threat in the main event, again, most likely for night 1. Seth Rollins is like throwing a temper tantrum. No, he doesn't deserve it. He's not. Again, this is, again, guys, all baby faces that are trying to change mid segment their character, going from more as a heel. Even Roman Reigns comes off more as a heel in this segment. It's all over the place, man. It just makes no sense. So Punk signs this contract, right? He's got tears in his face. He's getting emotional, which I'm sure to a degree he somewhat feels a certain type of way about, right? Like that's always been his goal, to main event WrestleMania. And I'll get more to that in just a second, and I'll get to your thoughts, Brian. So Punk then goes on. He goes over to Roman Reigns, like, thank you, my tribal chief, right? Thank you so much. He's like, to grace me with your presence. Thank you. He's like, however, this is not the favor that I'm owed, and referencing towards Paul Heyman. And that was, I guess, supposed to be a cliffhanger at this point. So that's how the segment ends. And well, wasn't a brawl. Nobody brawled. That's, I guess, one positive. But in all seriousness, man, look, Brian, I'll be honest with you. This might be a hot take, right? The main shtick now is this favor, right? And part of me is really starting to say, you know what, like, fuck this favor. Like, I don't give a fuck about this fucking favor anymore. I really, truly don't. Because now you're going to, hint that Paul Heyman and Punk are working together. You could be doing that already separately. There's already been so much beef and animosity to where now you need to stick these two in a triple threat. That's already fucking weird. And now you want to make this moment. It's like, oh, Punk is now a WrestleMania main eventer. You deserve a chance, right? And Punk's got tears in his face. There's just one problem. Nobody's buying this shit. Nobody's buying that this is what Punk meant about a WrestleMania main event. This is a bootlegged main event. I'm just sorry. That's just what it is, man. You're telling me that this is what CM Punk wanted as a WrestleMania main event, to where you're going to hype this up. Oh, no, see, no matter. Oh, regardless now, though, he is a WrestleMania main eventer. He's going to pull some strings, and now you have this favor, like, oh, that's not the favor that I'm owed. And I guess that's supposed to be like a little bit of a cliffhanger. And I get it, man. Listen, this might be a hot take, man, but I'm starting to really get over this fucking favor. Like, to where I really am starting to not even give a shit about it anymore. It still can be good. I get it. Paul Heyman will still try to make it work because he's involved in all of this and involves him, Punk, and Roman. I completely get it. But like at this point, man, because of how this is coming across and You're meshing all of these separate feuds and how you're getting to this point. And again, it also continues to ask the question, is the Royal Rumble, winning the Royal Rumble, mean anything anymore at this point too? And I get it. A lot of Royal Rumble winners don't technically have really main evented WrestleMania over the past, let's face it, 20 years now. Triple H knows that he fucked up. This entire situation to where you had Jey Uso win the Rumble, where Jey Uso is getting Das Boot, Mr. Royal Rumble winner, right? He's not in the main event. It's going to be this. That's going to be night one of the main event of WrestleMania. And I'm guessing Jey Uso and Gunther are going to start off or kick off WrestleMania night one. That's what most likely is going to be the case, or WrestleMania night two. Who knows? But it's clear cut that Triple H knows that when you have people in a match like CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins, to where how would you not put those three in a main event who are bigger caliber stars who have, a lot more to offer. It's just like, and you put this in the main event because you know the backlash that you're getting from Jey Uso in that Gunther matchup. This is a clear-cut audible of Triple H saying, I fucked up. I'm going to put this in the main event of WrestleMania, and I'm going to rectify it by playing off this favor and to play off that CM Punk is finally getting his main event spot at WrestleMania. Guys, nobody's buying this shit. Nobody's buying that this is what CM Punk meant as him being in the main event of WrestleMania. And now you're going to hype this up like, oh, he's a main eventer now. Fucking stop. Nobody, I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. I'm not. So look, again, it's a mixed bag to where, again, it wasn't the worst thing ever, but you also mesh Seth Rollins and trying to be a heel and saying that Punk doesn't deserve it. He's throwing this hissy fit of a temper tantrum when he's still technically a face. You have Roman Reigns, who's technically trying to, his mannerisms in this promo is like, hey, like Punk, it's like, what are you waiting for? You need a highlighter? You need something to write down something? Comes across more of a heel. Guys, the lines are being blurred and nothing makes sense. And this is your main event of WrestleMania, bro. You're trying to do everything to rectify or make this triple threat make sense, but you fucked this from the jump, and all you're doing now is blurring the lines and muddying the waters at this point. And that's all I got. Brian, what are your takes, man? I know that was a lot, but what are your takes on this main event segment?
Oh, man. I have so many thoughts about this one. The first one I'll say is, I mean, yes, they could have, been booking it as a cliffhanger anyway. But if you see the end of the show where they clearly kind of went over as the credits are coming up, and that's where I just go back to all throughout the show with the crowd chanting. So I don't know if that's how they were booking it. I mean, I can see them doing that as a cliffhanger, but I also just wonder, because it was just, I mean, boom, that's not the favor. Cut to black. Because they were over time, man. I mean, it was clear as day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, the segment in general, I guess I'll start with Seth. Yeah, Seth, I mean, just him, again, you're as he's supposed to be a face, like, screaming about he can't have this, he doesn't deserve it, like it just is so weird. So I think he is coming out of Mania. There's one of two options for him. I think he's either coming out just a bona fide straight heel. There's no more tweener. What is he? He's a heel. Mm-hmm. And also because I got a little bit of different take on this, the dynamic of all three of them, right? You got Punk over here crying, which in part is real, legitimate tears. Seth Rollins just acted like a petulant child. And then Roman Reigns, who's kind of just like laughing it all off, and kind of being like snarky and shit,
Right.
And which I guess, yeah, you could take those as like heelish shit, but I didn't really take Roman as doing heel stuff there. I don't know what it was, but he was almost just like the lighthearted jokester of the situation, so to speak.
That's fair.
Yeah. And then you get down to this favor. I mean, and I'll even tie this in with Jay and the main event. Cody Rhodes was going to have a main event WrestleMania match, period, hands down. He's your world champion.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns and CM Punk, those Rollins, maybe you could, maybe not. CM Punk and Roman Reigns were going to be in the main event at WrestleMania, regardless of Gunther, regardless of Jay. It doesn't even, like, they were going to be in the main event. So you get down to that booking of, Jay, and even calling himself main event Jay Uso, and this whole thing built on the back of Yeet and all that stuff. Like, in my mind, like, that match never was, even if it was the championship match, that never was going to be the main event at Mania ever. That never was.
Nor should it. No, and nor should it.
Right. So now going into this match, I mean, the favor is Paul Heyman going back with CM Punk, or at the very least turning on Roman, which at that point I don't know why you wouldn't go with Punk, but that's the favor. That's what this is like. And so how that plays out of, who comes out heel and face and blah, blah, blah. CM Punk is leaving Mania a heel with Paul Heyman. Roman is a face. And then you got that question, what do you do and what transpires in this match between Rollins and Roman? Like, could this be, like, does Seth kind of go full face and maybe him and Roman reunite? Or he is also, so now you go out of Mania with Punk a heel, Rollins a heel, and Roman the face. But that's the only way I can see that breaking down. But the favor is Paul Heyman himself. Like, Paul Heyman is leaving Roman Reigns. Like, that's the favor.
Yeah, no, I mean that's clearly what they're doing, and I don't know, man. Paul Heyman portraying Roman Reigns, and now Roman Reigns is now going to be, I guess, the lone wolf now without Paul Heyman. I don't know, man. It's just him without Paul Heyman. It's just like, it just sounds weird at this point now. It's just, I don't know if. Not saying that it can't work with Roman Reigns now being on his own, but sometimes I feel like without Paul Heyman, that presentation of the tribal chief gimmick, it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm very indifferent about it, to where you're 100% right. That's what's most likely going to happen. I'm not going to go against that. That's 100% going to be the favor. I think we can all kind of come to a conclusion with that. But yeah, man, it's just, you could have, though, saved this animosity with Punk and Roman one-on-one.
For sure. 100%. It shouldn't be happening right now.
This should not even be happening right now, man. And now, and now you're blurring the lines, you're crossing the T's to where people almost have to, they have to switch character mid-segment to where, and what you said about playing I guess the laughing, Roman Reigns, he's like laughing it off to where he's being very very giving,
just nonchalant about it,
nonchalantly about it. I also felt mannerisms of the heel persona as well in this shtick as well, to where again he's talking to Punk when he's trying to sign the contract, and he's like, it's like, dude, you need a highlighter, you need something, what are you doing? Let's speed it up, let's go. That's something a heel would do. So I thought can argue that it was also both, but again, he's also supposed to be the face. This is what doesn't make sense in a segment like this, to where you have so many people, mainly people like Rollins and Roman, mostly those two. Punk has been mostly the bona fide face throughout this entire scenario. And yes, that can change going into Mania, when most likely Paul Heyman does portray Roman, and then Punk will most likely come out of WrestleMania victorious. And most likely, I guess would Roman Reigns take the pinfall, I guess, over in that triple threat, or does Seth Rollins take the pinfall? Who freaking know? Unless for Roman to stay face.
No, I think for the story purposes and the fact that it's, that Heyman would turn on Roman has to take the pinfall there.
That's to take the pinfall. That's that's what I mean about Roman most likely taking the pinfall, which storytelling wise, I guess it wouldn't harm Roman Reigns if that's what you're going to do storytelling wise. But outside of that, right, where like you're trying to get to this point by switching Rollins to be more of a heel, and then you're switching Roman to sometimes act more of a heel. It still doesn't make sense, man, to where like you could have saved this for SummerSlam. You could have maybe planted seeds at this point to get there. And now you're going to rush this. You're going to now blur the lines to where nobody knows anything of who anybody is right now when it comes to a heel or a face. But it also continues to paint the question about the Royal Rumble. Like, what's the point of having a Royal Rumble? What's the point of having all these other pay-per-views to be in the main event of WrestleMania, especially the Royal Rumble, when you're not in the main event of WrestleMania? And I get it. It's been going on for decades now, decades upon decades, where we've seen so many people win the Royal Rumble and they're technically not in the main event of WrestleMania. But man, it's just because if that's the case, right? If your main event, if your Royal Rumble winner is not the brightest spot of your company, if he's not the talking point, the cash cow that's going to get you the most eyeballs and talks to be the main event of WrestleMania, well, then you fucked up the Royal Rumble victor. That's just what it tells you. And this entire situation, Brian, tells me that Triple H is, with all their executive suits and ties, they're saying, shit, we know that Jey Uso and Gunther can't be the main event of WrestleMania because not a lot of people are fond over it. You have 3 of your top bona fide stars in your company. Who else is going to be your main event if that's not going to be your main event?
Yeah, and if we continue to play the game of the Royal Rumble winner is supposed to be this important, or supposed to be, then you got to go back to at least a little bit to then. I mean, so he gets his title shot. I get it, and I don't know. Maybe it just changes, so he still has the title shot. And he's gonna win. So but to the point of it, the Royal Rumble meaning anything, then it's supposed to be the main event at WrestleMania. It's
supposed to be the main event, man. Like, it just doesn't. It's just very weird, man. But man. I mean, as far as for CM Punk is concerned, that they're trying to play this off that, like he's finally going to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Guys, we can't sit here and befuddle ourselves, or we can't bullshit ourselves that this is what CM Punk meant by getting back to WWE and being in a main event of WrestleMania.
Right. I doubt it. I doubt he was talking about a triple threat with no
random
title on the line.
Threat with no title. Right. Exactly. It's fucking, like, stop. Nobody's buying this shit, man. Like, stop. It's a bootlegged main event for Punk. And you're blurring all the lines. You're muddying the waters with Rollins and Roman involved. And you have this favor involved. It's like, oh, thanks for the main event, but you still owe me. It's like we're fucking fifth graders. Like, oh, it's like you owe me. It's like you think you gave me this main event, but you still owe me this favor. Remember, you still owe me money from several weeks ago, and then you also owe me another $20 from like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. It's just the way. Again, I'm not saying that the conclusion with Punk and Heyman joining side by side and turning on Roman, I'm not saying that they're not going to absolutely kill it for what's been given to them when the turn happens. But how you're getting to that point is what's not making sense, is what's very inconsistent. If that
I think what both of you, or both of us, I think, agree on is like this. This is going to happen, yes. It's still going to be good, but Punk, Roman, Heyman should be a separate, altogether, 3-month, storyline feud on its own.
Absolutely, absolutely, and And look, man, the show as a whole is concerned, man. It's very, again, it's all over the place. That's all I can just say at this point. I would say it's a mess. Or
shout out to Naomi, though. Shout out to Naomi.
She was probably the only positive light out of this entire show, if I'm being completely honest with you. It was Naomi that carried the burden of the show. Everything else is all over the fucking place for 3+ hours, man. I can't wait for this show to go back to 2 fucking hours, man. I'm not saying that it's going to do it. The booking's going to be any different or the show's going to be any different, but at least there's not going to be another extra hour to sit there and go, fuck, I got to sit here for another fucking hour.
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes. Oh my fucking God.
Roman Reigns. Or I don't even know. I guess they said it with a little bit different cadence, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much how it is technically, or how they chanted it pretty much. Yeah, it's just, look, man, outside of some chants and sing-alongs, the actual productivity, man, I'm sorry, it's a mess. It's all over the place. And again, you can thank Naomi for carrying the burden of the show, man, because she nailed it. And then outside of that, how you're booking everybody, how you're booking Drew McIntyre to where he's one of your only bona fide heels in this company, and even what he's involved in and how you've gotten him to this point is completely just all over the place, and it's so inconsistent, and it's just so fucking bad, man. I'm sorry.
Let me say one more thing about Naomi too. Like, yeah. And I don't know if anybody else. Well, I hope people noticed, but I guess it was Michin and BFAB, right? Who just kind of had a little passing, by Jade, and were like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and immediately, who comes out? Naomi, and beats just that, right? Just for them saying like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Jade," So again, the vignette, her coming out and attacking BFAB and Michin, mwah. Yeah,
absolutely, man. Very well said. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another edition of the Ruthless Talk podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be talking about AEW Dynasty. We got a lot to talk about there. Speaking of AEW as a whole, there was a segment that I just came across. This was from Collision, to where Dax walked out on Cash from this past Collision. So I'm not buying it, though.
I haven't seen it. I got to watch it.
But I'm not buying it, man. There's no way. It would make absolutely no sense for you to split FTR. Guys, like, if that's really what we're going to fucking do, like, I'm sorry. Like, that would be one of the worst booking decisions. And that's saying one thing.
They're doing it.
That would take the fucking cake if they're actually going to split FTR. Guys, what the fuck, man? Stop. Just give them good booking, man. They're a good tag team. Just book them properly. You don't need to split them because you have nothing for them. That's a different discussion for a different day. But yes, a lot more AEW to talk about, AEW Dynasty. Next, we will be talking Monday Night Raw. We are getting closer and closer and closer to WrestleMania. This is another John Cena appearance. They're also going to be in London for Monday Night Raw. This is the last of 3 appearances that John Cena will be participating for Monday Night Raw, and I'm pretty sure you probably won't see John Cena again probably until WrestleMania as a whole. Maybe you might see The Rock within those
SmackDown, maybe before the night before,
the night before, maybe if we're lucky. So soak it in, man. Heel John Cena. This might be the last you'll see of him until the big WrestleMania matchup against Cody Rhodes for WrestleMania. So that will be for Monday Night Raw. This coming Monday, or tomorrow, I should say, as of the recording of this video. So we will be talking about Monday Night Raw. There's a lot more stuff to go over to. And of course, make sure you guys once again stay tuned for our collaboration with the Holy Shit Podcast. Their episode, our collaboration video comes out tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on their platform, on their YouTube channel. So make sure you guys check that out if you guys are interested. And of course, as always, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram and TikTok. That is Ruthless_Talk. Thank you guys so much. We just reached over 2,200 followers on TikTok. So we want to thank all of you guys for smashing that follow button, whether it's a freaking super kick, whether it's a pedigree, whether it's a Batista bomb, whether it's freaking one of Bronson Reed's freaking splashes from the top rope, right? Smashing that freaking follow button, smashing the like button. We want to thank you guys so much. And of course, on YouTube, shout out to everybody who has subscribed to us on YouTube, as we are now well over 300 subscribers now on YouTube. So make sure you guys spread the word Also, make sure you deliver a super kick, an Uso splash, a frickin' pedigree, a frickin' riptide, whatever you want to frickin' give that frickin' subscribe button. Make sure you hit that shit and subscribe to our channel and be a part of our wrestling community. We got the roundtable coming up. We got both WrestleMania's Night 1 and 2 to talk about in the near future. We got WrestleMania Backlash coming up in May. We got another Saturday night's main event to talk about in May. So lots of stuff to come. So stay tuned for it for our next episode and many more to come. Brian, final thoughts, man, before we end this show.
Yeah, I'd like to just give another shout out to the Holy Shit podcast, as well as looking forward to the the WrestleMania roundtable we got coming up. Other than that, man, shout out to Naomi. She really killed it this week, and I hope they continue to book her and allow her to progress in what I think she can easily, transform herself into.
That's all I'm going to say, man. It's right there. Fingers are crossed, man, with that. That is going to do it for today's episode, everybody. My name is James Porcelli.
I'm Thunder Tits.
And we are signing off, saying salute.
Peace out.
And take care, everybody. Top guys, we are out.